Okay guys, welcome back to the part 5, the end of how to make a tube style macrame necklaces. Here is a couple photos of the finished whole project, including the pendant that we did in a previous set of videos. Here's just a little screen you can read. Alright, so here I am just showing you where we ended up in the last video and what I did on one side and what I will be showing you now how you can do. Up until the spiral part is pretty straightforward. The spiral part's going to be the tricky part to this whole thing. So we are going to swap out any black knotting cords for red cords from the middle. So right now, since there are 8 red cords already a part of the knotting, we're gonna wind up with all of the red cords now on the outside and all of the black cords all on the inside, except for the wrap red cord, which if your project is like mine, it's kind of shorter than the rest anyways. So like I said, we're just swapping out the 2 black for 2 red from the middle. We've done this before. And we're going to end up with all red for the knotting cords and the holding cords. See, that one was the one I was wrapping with. It's kind of short. And we're just going to do this on all 4 sections. You may have some pieces that are a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. It's all right because we're so close to the end. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, that's the second section. Rotate it. We'll do the third and the fourth. And let's see, I'm looking at mine. It looks like I've done 1, 2, like 3, maybe 4 rows of red. And then I'm going to do 2 parts of beads again for 8 beads on each side. And then we'll get into this spiral thing. I like the way it looks. I think it's cool, but if you don't like it, if you don't want to do it, you can end it a different way. Unfortunately, you know, in this video I haven't done an alternative way, so yeah, you can find your own way to do it, or maybe in another video I'll do an alternative ending to show you how you can do things differently. But it's gonna be a little tricky, and even for me it was like, oh, you know, doing it the same way on both sides. I had to keep referring back to the side I did previously, so I don't know. I hope it's not too complicated for this video, but if you like it and like I do the way it looks, it's a unique way to end it. Okay, so we're still trading out any black cords for red cords at this stage. Almost done with that. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. I think I thought I messed something up, but I didn't. You always got to be careful, check where your cords are, check which cords you're working with, making sure nothing gets tangled up someplace else, especially when you have an open middle section, like I've mentioned before. When you have, you know, when you're doing a tube and you have a middle section, you want to make sure that you haven't accidentally added a cord in there that is one of your working cords. So I'm just counting out again. There should be 16. Okay, I'm going to take my red cord that I had been wrapping with, make it nice and tight up in there. Okay, now I am going to start deleting some cords from the middle. So what I'm going to do is, I have 16 cords, right? I'm going to find the shortest cords and make just 2 knots, 1 double knot. That one I did on the same side I ended up with the red. Now I'm going to find the next shortest cord, go back and forth so that one ends up on the opposite side. I just do this so all my cords are not going to end up on the same side. These cords will be cut and burned. So you just keep doing this. My advice is to find the shortest ones first, so you end up with the longest ones, and I'm going to do this until I only have 6 black cords in the middle. And before we do any more knotting, I will burn these, cut and burn them, and then we'll continue on with the project. This is just the only way you can get rid of these cords without, you know, yeah, because once you start back on the red part, it'll be hard to reach them to cut and burn them. So that's 4 so far. Just any way you really want to do it. Just do a double knot for each cord you're deleting, taking out, taking away, and when you have only 6 left, then you can cut them and burn them. It's gonna be here. I'm gonna show you. But the reason I'm taking a minute in between is because I'm finding the shortest ones first. It's just a habit of mine. It's just the way I like to do it. Where did my kitty go? Okay. There is, you know, no right or wrong way to do this. You see there, I did a double knot. And then one before that, I did a back and forth knot. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end. Just, you know, make them tight and as you can, close to each other. For me, it's always a little daunting when I have to cut cords. It's finalized at that point, so it's always a little scary for me. I really just have a fear that if I cut these cords, I'm going to want to use them later, but I can't. It's kind of silly, but it's why in the very first video I think I made starting these tutorials, I was like, don't ever cut your cords until you're sure. So yeah, it's just like I just want to always make sure that I'm super happy with what I've done before I, you know, make any cuts, because like I say, it's easier to undo knots and redo them than it is to try to like add a cord that you've already cut. Okay, let's see. It's 4 on the left and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right. I think I'm just adding another knot to that one, so it's just one extra little knot. Okay, I'm just showing you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tie the black section and the red section together, just so they don't slip apart from each other. They won't, like, especially since when the spiral comes to an end, we're going to use one red cord and not knots onto those black cords, so it's not going to slip, but I just do it for a little extra strength, security, that kind of thing. I was recently told about like a craft cement, craft glue. I have obviously glue. I know what glue is, but I've never heard of like the craft cement specifically. And I know I don't use it in any of my designs, none of my jewelry. I just burn it. I've never had to add glue or anything, but it got me thinking. I'm gonna try to find some, I think. Anyways, side note to myself, I guess. Alright, see, we've burned that. Just pinch it together, you know, your burned edges. Okay, so now we've deleted all but 6 black cords in the middle, and we have still 16 red cords that we're still working with. We're gonna do a few rows, just like before, just going round and round, and then we're gonna switch and add 2 rows of beads. So I can get to a place where it's easy to start the end spirals. So you start with 32 cords, and you start taking cords away as you go round and get smaller and smaller and smaller. So a spiral, but an actual spiral where it starts big and gets small as you go down, because you'll start taking cords away. Right, so that was right after we cut our cords. I did 1 4 section. This is the second one. I'm gonna try to keep track for you guys, so I don't so you don't have to count. I don't know. Well, you're gonna, if you count, you count. If you don't, you don't. If you just eyeball it, it's fine too. There have been projects where I didn't count any rows whatsoever. I just eyeballed the whole thing and would keep comparing it to the previous side I did, and would just gauge, like, okay, they seem like they're you know, even. It's even enough. It's such a subtle difference when you do that. Like, you wouldn't notice once you put your cords together and finish it off with your sliding clasp. You won't notice if there's a little bit of it, like if there's like 1 row less on one side than the other. It's so hard to notice. So eyeballing is okay for this project, except for the beaded parts. Like, I wouldn't do that. I would keep track of that, make those even, and then that always gives you a nice and even starting point on both ends. That's just my advice for that. But if you ever try this without the beaded part and you just start, let's say, with the what does it look like, you know, your rope part, which you can, then you can count or eyeball. Either way, you'll more or less end up with the same. So, all right, this is my 4th one. doing this, I am also doing some stuff on my computer. Yeah, I just sped it up a little bit here to get through this because this video wound up being so long to finish it. And the reason for that is that spiral thing does take a really long time. Oh, see, I went right into the bead section. Ha, I looked away for a second and here I am. All right, so it's nothing very complicated. You just add a bead or 2 rows of beads. Okay, so I only wound up doing one section of the normal knotting before I started in with the bead section. Okay, this right here is a mistake, and I'm going to realize it. Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. See, I got into the groove of just going, and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot, I switched. So opposite way to make a bead, to add a bead. Okay, there we go. We're already 18 minutes in, and we are at the section where, after the very last video, that little tiny black section is where it ended. And then at the start of this video, we traded out all of our black cords for all of our red cords. So we're left only working with red. And in the middle, we took out all but 6 black cords. So there are only 6 there, and we deleted we cut and took away some black cords. Beading still. I'll do just 2 rows of this, so nothing crazy. Again, just another design choice. There's never any really reason, except for maybe length. If you need more length, if you want it longer, you can keep adding rows, you can keep adding more beads, you can just keep going if you wish to. Some people like really long necklaces. Some people like shorter ones. I try to make all my things varying sizes, varying lengths, you know. But they're always adjustable by adding a sliding clasp. So the shortest length is the shortest length. Obviously, you can't make it smaller, but you can adjust it to be longer. So you can Google like necklace size chart or size guide, and it can give you an indication of like where your necklace will lay on your body. Like, you know, you got your collarbone, you got your sternum, you got your diaphragm or your stomach. So each of those obviously is a different length, but when you're making macrame, you might want to know ahead of time like how many centimeters or inches that is. And you can keep measuring your project as you go And if you want it to be a certain particular length, then that's how you can, know how much to do. I didn't measure this. I should measure this. I'll measure and add it in as like a side note or something. I'm gonna do that right now while I'm still beading. I just have a normal sewing measuring tape, so it's one of those ones that rolls up. Mine's done in centimeters, so it's just what I had here. Alright, so to measure it, I'm gonna try to make it flat, which is kind of hard to do because of so from the bead, so my necklace is 65 centimeters from, well, once we get to the end, you'll see I add a big bead before I add the sliding clasp. So from the big bead to the big bead, you might be able to see it if you go back to the beginning and see the pictures. 65 centimeters. Let me see how much that is in inches. 65 centimeters. 2 inches. 65 centimeters is 25.59 inches, so 25 and a half or 25.6 if you want to be precise. And that's like, if you lay it flat, that's the length of the whole thing. 25 inches, 65 centimeters. I'm trying to think when I list these, if that's how I write it. I'll come back to that. All right, so we've done the beads. We've switched out black. We deleted black. We switched out. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna make like I'm gonna add another bead row, but I'm actually not. I'm just doing, you're gonna take 2 strings, not in the middle, take the string from the left and the string from the right and make it just like you were gonna add a bead. But instead, I'm gonna take the 2 middle cords, okay, and knot them together. Just a double knot. Okay, this again is gonna give me, when I do this all the way around, it's gonna make my starting point even all the way around for when I start to do the spiral part. So you do that all the way around, one section at a time. Okay, double knot. Cord from the left, just like you would a bead, and the right. And then take, oops, oh shoot. Okay. Sorry, I almost exited out of this thing. Then take the 2 middle ones and just knot them together. That's the second one. Do that for the third and the fourth. Middle two? Oh, no, not yet. Sorry, I looked up from where I'm watching from to record this. Yeah, so same thing one more time, and then we'll do one more thing, and then the video is gonna go into the section where we start the spiral section. And I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about it because I'm worried about if I'll be able to explain it. But we're at the almost the 27-minute mark of this video, and I know it's over an hour long, and I know that's a very long video, but I know this whole thing, like, you know, the pendants, this necklace thing, cut into several videos, but it was just the easiest way for me to do it. Plus, space on my phone kept running out every time I would make a set of videos. All right, so now you've done that, we're gonna take in between we're gonna take the four corners, let's call it, and we're gonna knot them together. So we're not touching the middle, the two middle ones, just to tie it all together. See, I'm having a hard time. So those are the middles. We're taking the oh boy, the two cords from each section and tying them together. Hopefully what you're watching makes more sense than what I'm saying. Holy moly. Okay, so that's 2. You'll do it 4 times because of the 4 sections. That's I think the last one. All right, so now I've picked it up so you can see what it is I've done. Taken 2, left those 2 middle ones that you tied together. Okay, those are there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. 13 and 14. 15 and 16. Okay, So that's that. And now this is what it looks like. You can see how the ends are more of a straight line now. And you can see by looking on the left, what I have on the screen right now, this spiral that we've done. And I left the cords hanging out because until I make the other side like that side, I didn't want to cut it in case I make any kind of mistake and I want to go back and redo it. Actually, I did that. The part that's done already right now is actually the second one, because the first one I did something weird and I didn't understand what I had done wrong, so I had to redo the whole thing. Took it apart and redid it. But I was sure at this point that I can do that on camera, okay? Right, so I'm gonna flip it the other way because it's easier for me to not on, you know, that side, like I'm right-handed and that kind of thing. It's just something. All right, so here we go. I've been nervous about this since I did it, recording this part. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're gonna take one of the, not one of the two middle ones, but one cord from the appointed section, right? Can you see that? I'm gonna take one off to the side because right away I'm not gonna use it. And I'm gonna start just knotting every cord onto so I put one off to the right and we're gonna go left, and I'm gonna knot every single cord onto that in order. So right away it's two cords that were like in the middle where you would have put the bead but didn't. Okay, so that's the first two strings, and small rotation. And now this is two of the pointed ones. So you're gonna have one working cord, which is you're gonna have one holding cord the whole way around for this whole spiral, and that's the one we're knotting onto right now. Each row, each part of the spiral is going to be knotted onto this one cord, this one holding cord. Okay, and you're going to have to pick it up and rotate, make small rotations while you're doing this. And like I said, this very first row, every single cord gets added. And you can see that, you know, it's not going in a slanted way, but we're trying to make it sort of like a straight line. And we're still knotting the first row. So it should be 12 cords that you've knotted onto one cord, and one cord we are gonna toss back off to the side. That one there. And I'm gonna use that as sort of a guide to when I come back around, like I'll know that was my starting place, because we're gonna be taking cords away, and I really hope that that you can understand what it is I'm gonna be doing. It's you know, one of these things that's just kind of hard to explain. All right, so I've come back to the start where I started. Okay, so I have my holding cord and one cord taken away, and so that means there will be 12 cords around that you just made onto an almost straight line, because the first one came from, you know, the project. So I'm checking my other side to see what I did, and shoot, it's off camera. Anyways, so that one's off. Now we're gonna knot 3 cords. Try to keep track from here if you can. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3, and then the 4th cord we're gonna eliminate it. And some people in their projects would cut it. You can if you feel comfortable doing so, but for me I just flipped it up, and I'll cut it off later because just for teaching purposes and stuff, I just really didn't want to do that. Okay, I went a little off camera here, and I'm really sorry, but what you're doing now is, after you've carried that one away, knot 3 more cords next to it. So 1, 2, I just did. And find the one that's right next to it. 3. Three there, 3 there. And we're gonna take the next one and get rid of it. Okay. And then we're going to continue knotting. We're not going to take any more away from this row, because I would have done it 3 by 3, but I already left the very first string off. So I think just to make it more mathematical, I just took 2 from that row. So right now there's a total of 3 strings out, 1 holding cord, and the rest are what we're making into this spiral that we're going round and round and getting smaller and smaller. You can already see that this row is smaller than the previous one. This may be something you have to practice a couple times. I cannot guarantee you your results. This is a tricky thing to do, but it's once you kind of know what you're doing, it's a really fun element that I like to add. It gives both sides little horns or something. I don't know. I just like the way it looks. Sorry, my pin popped out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another round without taking any out. I'm gonna go all the way around until I come back to my starting point, which is that one on the top right there. Right now it's just to the right. That's the starting one. Okay. So we're just continuing to knot around. I hope you understand what I've done so far. I used one cord. That is my holding cord, my working cord, everything I'm knotting onto. And there are 3 strings now not in the part that we're doing. Okay, so I started with 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Oh, it should be 12 strings going around. And I'm just doing a second row without taking anything away. Because to make it look like a nice spiral, you don't want to take them away too quickly, I guess. I don't really know. I've really only done this a few times. That's why I was nervous to try to explain it. I was like, oh boy. All right, we're almost coming to my guide cord. I should have tied it in a knot for you guys or something, or tied like a, I don't know, a bright green cord to it so you would know that's the guide cord. Just so you kind of know where you're coming from, where you started from. Okay. So yeah, so I'm just showing you because I should be at the guide one. No, I might have gone one past it, but that's okay. I'm gonna take out 3 more cords now as I go around. I'm gonna knot 3, take 1 out, knot 3, take 1 out. Well, I'm gonna start by taking 1 out. I'm so sorry. Take 1 out. Now, this will be your 3rd row, and knot 3. You've taken 1 away, and we're gonna knot 3. Okay. I'm just showing you I took one off, knotted 3 cords, rotate, and take another one off, throw it on up there, and knot 3 again. There may be a little gap, but that's okay. You need that to start making it smaller and smaller. There won't be a gap in the knotting, you'll just see it. It's fine, never mind. And knot 3 cords after the one you've taken out. So there's 3, 3, and I should be taking another one out. Yep. So in that row, I took out 3 cords and knotted every 3 cords. So what you'll be left with after this is 9 cords. Now, after I do these 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make another row where I don't take anything away. So far you have eliminated 6 cords. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you have 1 working cord. And there should be 9 left at this point. So I'm just gonna go around until I come back to my starting position, my starting one, which is where I'm starting right now. I know this because the cord's above it. Like I said, if you're trying this for the first time, take that very first cord that you left off and tie it into a knot, or tie some other colored string onto it, just so you don't get lost. I wish I would have done that for the video, because you want I guess a guide. Like if you're good at like keeping track of your counts and everything, that's cool, that's fine too. If you think you don't need that, that's awesome. But yeah, you can if you need to. I wish I would have been counting. Okay. Like I said, we just did the row above the one I'm knotting right now. We took 3 out, so I'm just doing a row of just knotting all the cords. So it's like, see there, that's the guide cord, the one I just put there off to the left. And I think I was mindful of that when I was videoing right now. I was like, oh, I should do that. There it is. Because of where it came from. Alright, so we're almost to the guide cord, and then that's the second row that would have had 9 strings. And so then I'm gonna do the same thing. I gotta take out some more strings. So I'm gonna take 1 out, which is sort of in line with the guide string. And I'm gonna do, how many do I do? All right, so I took 1 away at almost the same spot as the guide cord, if not the same spot. It looked pretty close to me. So this is 1, 2, second cord. After I took 1 away, third cord. And then, yep, 3. So now I should be taking 1 out. Yep, flip it on up there. Okay, then not one quartz. Oops. Two. Three. And yeah, I'm just seeing what I should do next. Sorry. I think I was deciding if I should take another one from this row or do it the next row. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am left with 1. Okay, so I'm going to take it away. So let's see. 1. I had to pause for some reason. That's why there was like a cut there. Okay, 1 cord. 2. 3. 3. 4. 5. So yeah, okay, so I think I only took 2 away. And it looked like I was left with 5. Shoot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it was 6. All right, I took 2 away and was left with 6. That's right. Sorry about that. That was a little minor confusion. Oh no, I'm off the... Oh, God. All right, take 1 more away. Oh shoot. Oh no. My video paused. This is... Okay. I'm sorry, this ending is getting really tricky. I'm watching it and I didn't film it very well. And I'm a little mad at myself for that. I think what I did was when it got towards the bottom, when I had only 6 strings left, I just took 2 away from each row, continued on, did a second row without taking anything away, and then took 2 more away, and just kept going that way. So when I count my spiral, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 10 little spirals, and the last two rows of spirals have like 2 or 3 cords left, and I use my working cord to knot around the black cords. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, looks like 9. And so I'm coming to that point, I think, like right now. Oh, I may have to make like a video where I'm just doing this, and possibly in a couple different ways. One where I'm not off camera, for one. I can't believe I did that. It's too late for me to go back and try to refilm this. I've cut it. I've ended it. Anyways, what you learn from doing the first 3 or 4, even 5 rows is that one row you go around and you take out 2 or 3 cords. Honestly, you can do it either way. And the next row, just do a solid row where you don't take anything away. Then the next row, take out 2 or 3 cords. Then do another row of solid where you don't take anything away. Then take 2 or 3. You can do it 2 by 2. You can do it 3 by 3. You can do 3, 3, 2, and 2. However you need to do it, just to get a small spot, like to get the cords out of there, to make a continuing spiral that gets smaller and smaller as you go down. I really, really, really hope that this somehow makes sense to you. The last bit of it, I didn't realize I was off the camera, and because I made so many of these videos, I didn't even know. All right, well, so there are 10 rows. On the very bottom row, there's 2 strings, and then the one, I think just to make it one going one way and one going the other, I added one more. So I put my other side next to it, so it's laying flat in a U shape right now. And I decided to just do one more knot so that there's like a red thing kind of there. Okay, so you see what I mean? They look the same now on both sides. All right. Oh, I like the one I did on the right better, so I'm adjusting the one on the left now. Or I just made too many knots, or I didn't remember how many I knotted, so. Okay, so. Okay. Hopefully you could just follow along and just repeat what I'm doing. Pause it and rewind it and just look real closely if you need to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 strings and just do a double knot. Well, 1 string at a time. Do a double knot, do a double knot. It's 1 string, 2 from the black. So I'm only left with 3. And so that's that. I'm left with 3. Do the same thing on the other side. I'm going outward from the necklace, you know. 1, 2, 3 taken away from the left, 3 taken away from the right. So now I am left with 3 on the one side and 3 on the other side. And I'm gonna take, I think I messed up a knot there, so I'm just undoing it and redoing it. But then after this, I'm gonna take, if you remember from the pendant tutorial, I had used these bigger silver beads. I'm gonna use those bigger beads, and I'm gonna add it to each side right after the three black cords were taken away. You can, if you don't want to do that, you can just tie a knot with the 3 cords. I'm gonna do it after I add the bead, so if you want to do it before I add the bead, then you can. If you want to add the bead, go right ahead. It's gonna go over all 3 cords. They're large hole beads, so it'll fit. So that's what I ended up with. I'm really, really sorry about the very last like 3 rows of the thing. I'm a little bit beating myself up about it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so yeah, okay. I had 11 on this side and 10 on the other, and I'm gonna fix that. Part of it is a tiny bit of perfectionism. I like things to be symmetrical as much as possible when working with macrame. It's been one of my great challenges in my macrame world is how can I get everything as symmetrical as possible. It's tricky when you're working with oval stones, oval cut cabs, but so yeah, so I knew something was kind of weird, I think, when I was filming it. There was one more string that I knotted, and I liked the one I did in the filming versus the one I did beforehand. So I'm just going back. It's a good way for you to see how I take knots out. Another reason why knot cutting is super important. So that string there should have been like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 taken out, and when I do that, it kind of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think I did 4 knots on the red. Let's see, okay, it looks better now. They're all now both going in opposite directions, which is kind of what you want, I guess. And I think I wanted to just clean up. The black was looking a little bit not right. So I just redid it. That's all there is to it. If you are not happy with something, you should redo it. It's better than like looking at it after you've cut and burned it and saying, oh, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't that look like the way I wanted it to? This is why I didn't cut any of those red cords. This is why I wait to the end to do any cutting for any project that I do. And see what we've done so far. Pretty cool, right? Despite my very ending filming bad technique. All right, so now I'm happy with it. I'm gonna cut these red cords as very close as I can, because I am gonna still burn them, and you guys know that sometimes the lighter leaves little singe marks, but it's all right. I think it's totally fine. These are handmade projects. If you sell them like I do on Etsy, it kind of gives it almost a plasticky look anyways, and that's okay, in my opinion. If you decide to do this where you cut them as you go, then you won't see those marks. So it's up to you. I think I'm gonna, the next time I have to make a tube, which I do have a pendant I need to make a tube for, maybe I'll show how to do this again on and just that part, or something, so you guys can see how to do it a little more properly, maybe better light, maybe a better camera angle, maybe a different background color. All right, so now I've taken all of those away, and I'm gonna just burn it. You can sort of see me burning it off camera again. Please excuse me, I'm still on a learning curve here. Anyways, I'm just singeing all the ends I just cut off, so it's no big deal. Okay, and I'm gonna do it on the other side. Just cutting and burning. No biggie. Let's see. Okay. I probably really could have skipped this part, or at least sped it up, but this is all, I think, part of one long video I shot. So yeah, you can kind of see what it looks like when you cut it and burn it this way. It's not 100% perfect, but it's homemade jewelry. So in my opinion, it's totally fine. And now look at, you got two spirals, and when you sort of play with them, they can curve like into each other. You can do it the other way around if you want. Doesn't really matter. They can be curved, and I like that. It's like they're pointing at each other. And when it sits on the neck, kind of just, it kind of looks cool. And so I added a bead there, and I'm gonna add a bead on all three cords. I have a pretty big bead with a pretty big hole, so it's not too terrible to get it on there. Yeah, that cord just didn't want to help me out there. Oh, I can't believe this is almost over. I think, let me see. I'm gonna look at my YouTube page. I want to see how long ago I started doing all of this. Let's see. Videos. The very first one I put up, starting with the pendant, was 1 month ago, it says on my YouTube channel. I have those videos from 5 years ago still up there. I tried back then and it didn't work. I just tried to film myself doing a project. It was like a really wide choker, which I still have. And then it wasn't until 5 years later that I started making these tutorials, and it's been a month that I started making the pendant. And then I did a video where I wrapped a stone cabochon. It's about 19 minutes long. And then I did a pro tip video, beading like a pro. Then I started this tube style thing, which ended up being 5 videos, and all videos except one are over 40 minutes. One is 28 minutes. This one is the longest one, this 5th one here. But there's a lot of little parts to it. And that spiral took the longest. I filmed it in real time, so it was however long that took. It was like, I think it was like 35 minutes is how long it takes just to do one side. That's real time macrame. This whole project, the first video I put up for it was 8 days ago. And then I put part 2 up 4 days ago, part 3 3 days ago, part 4 I put up yesterday, and today, January 20th, I will be putting this one up as well. Okay, so I added the big bead. I tied a knot underneath it. Now you have to put your pendant on before you can make a sliding clasp. Pendant is on. Yay! It's always a really bittersweet moment for me ending a project. Okay, so now all we're gonna do is take those three cords, overlap them like so, make it into like a line, I guess, and you want like one sort of on top, make it like a, just, I don't know, I can't explain what I just did there. Anyways, you need to be able to make square knots. So you take a separate cord altogether. I'm using a red one. So I hope you know how to do a square knot, but you're gonna go underneath all of the black cords. That's your first knot. Then on top, then under. Alright, then from So you're doing one side is on top and then under, and then you switch to the other side. Now the one from the right goes on top, and then the left one goes under. So it's under over. Now the one from the left on top, one from the right goes under, and from the right top, left, under. You can see how it kind of makes like a pretzel shape, sorta. On top from the left, under from the right. And you can just do this however many times you want, however long you want this square knot to be. This square knot is the sliding clasp mechanism, basically. So once you're done making it however long you want, you'll cut the ends. Make sure it's tight. Make sure your ends are frayed really nicely. This would be probably the one part I would like to try, that craft cement for the sliding clasp square knot. Just because I've never had any fall off, but hey. Okay, I think I'm almost done. So I'm going to cut it and then burn it. Just push the part you burnt so it's nice and secure. And when you pull on either side, now you have a closed necklace with a sliding clasp. That's how you slide it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a bead again, another big bead on each side. Tie a knot. I don't have a specific length, just so that the necklace can slide to be bigger. Add a bead on the other side. Okay, so adding the bead. And then just take a good length of it and then just tie a knot. I didn't measure it. I could measure it now from, let's see. I think it was about, stay, 26 centimeters. But that's all up to you, how long you want to make that. It just gives, you know, the ability to slide it open and closed. And then I slide the bead up there. So like when you're opening and closing it, you can grab it from that way. I put a little video showing already the finished product before I am going to be uploading this video anyhow. It's just a normal like knot. Try to get them as even to each other, and then just snip. I don't do anything with the ends, just kind of leave it like that. You can put individual small beads for each cords if you want to. And that's that. I finished it. Sliding it all the way open, see there? Then you can take that, grab it, and slide it back closed. That's how you do a sliding knot if you didn't know. And this is the entire finished video. Oh, I tried to do a background remover to show just the thing against a black background, but it's not a perfect background remover in a video. Yeah. Anyways, so that's the whole thing. I may add in a text that says how long the thing is, as I don't remember what I said I measured. I'll listen to it again and add a text in here that says how long it is from end to end when you lay it flat. So the pendant we made, the tube style necklace we made, I think it looks really nice together, black and red with silver beads. As I mentioned in one other video, I prefer the metallic. Alright, so this is almost over. It's the end, as seen here. Thank you for watching all of these videos. Subscribe, there will be more. I'm not done yet, so yeah, thanks. Come back. Like these videos, share them with your friends if you know somebody that you think will want to know how to do this kind of stuff. Okay, Genny out. Bye. Thank you.